I need to mute everybody. Hold on. Okay, I muted everybody. Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for coming to today's presentation by Joanne Kim, the Director of Sales at Seoul Hyatt, Grand Hyatt in Seoul. Just before you guys came in, we were having a really nice conversation because just recently President Biden came to stay in South Korea. And where did he stay? May I introduce to you Joanne Kim? Hold on, let me, where did you go, Joanne? Oh, there you go. Were you able to turn your mic on?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can
okay,
I
perfect.
say?
Great.
Yeah.
And also, let me give you permission to share. I'm making you co-host. There you go. Oh, and then I'll put it on the speaker view instead of, there you go.
Okay, so now can I say hello? Hello to
Yes,
students.
please.
Okay, hello everyone. This is actually Joanne, as the Brennan said, of Director of Sales from Grand Hyatt Seoul. And then this is actually, it's my great honor to be part of this actual session. Actually, I'm quite enjoying because this is kind of like a, it's giving me kind of another, like a joyful moment, because I've been working in kind of the real life in the society, but this is going to be kind of like giving me a chance to see people like you who are yet into the real life in the society. But like the experience with you guys actually giving me some kind of like a really refreshing the moment I've been into your age, actually, because so anyway, so let me, and then once again, I'm not actually a professional lecturer, but try my best to share what I'm doing and then what I have been doing like this. So end of the session, if you have any question about the real life, just feel free to throw me a question. So let me share a screen. One second. Share a screen. Can you share at time? Okay. Here.
Oh, can you do it?
Okay, you can you see it?
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I introduced myself to you already. So I'm pretty much sure everyone here know about where this hotel is, because obviously this hotel is the one of the oldest hotel in the metropolitan city in Korea, in Seoul. So, and then also in Namsan. So from now onwards, any moment you just like pass by this area, you have to think of me, actually. Okay, so, and then as Brandon said, the President Biden currently just stayed with us, and then probably end of the session, I'm gonna share a bit of my experience with you about that. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy my story. Before that, I would like to share, as I said, I'm from sales department. So I would like to give you some insight about what departments are in hotel industry, and then the sales department where I'm in, what sales is doing, kind of, because I cannot give you some kind of insight about what FM is doing, what the chef is doing, because I don't know how to cook, actually. So let me share about what I'm doing. So story in sales. So as I said, a department, and then positioning, and then hotelier life in sales. Before actually like moving forward, when I was about early 20s, there was, I actually forgot the name of the TV series. There was a TV series about the hoteliers. Each and every time when there's a TV series who hit the market with, like too much popularity, then with all of a sudden, all the students, making their dream to be one of, like someone in the TV series. And then probably, I don't know, I didn't realize at the time, but probably I was one of them, because there was a TV series that I think the title was Hotelier, and the Song Hye-kyo, and then yeah, kind of probably you can just ask your mom and dad actually. Probably, you know, like at my age, Hotelier was so much popular. So a lot of people, like people were dreaming, you know, like to become a hotelier. So I have to say, probably I was one of them. So try to share about the hoteliers alive in sales. Okay, so in hotel departments, there are front office, and then let me just go ahead. So the front office is probably the one most of you know about. And then this is actually kind of like a first department you face as soon as you walk into the hotel, right? And then the name, as the name shows, the front office means someone who's working at the front of the hotel. So inside the front office, there is a front desk and the concierge team and bell desk team, and also housekeeping. Housekeeping is, of course, not working in the front, but normally it's part of front office. Front office means actually taking care of room inventory. So what you can see here, front desk, concierge, bell desk, housekeeping are kind of like people who are taking care of room inventory. So easily say, sales is the people who bring the business, who bring the customers from outside all the way to the entrance of the hotel. And after that, we need to go out again to bring another guest, to hunt for another client. But the moment the clients walk in through the entrance, from the moment actually the front office, including housekeeping, are the ones who need to take care of the customer. But basically, you know, like hoteliers, whichever department you are belonging to, our goal is to satisfy our clients, whoever is walking into the entrance, with much expectation, because you have to pay, you know, like a $200, $300, let's just say 20만 원, 30만 원, kind of like a, yeah, much money only for one night stay. Crazy, right? Yeah. So, and then back office. Back office is kind of like, as you can imagine, people who are sitting at the back of house, who never show ourselves actually, you know, like in the lobby directly to the client. So inside the back office, there is a sales and marketing, and then finance, and then purchasing, kind of a department. So, and then rooms side, that there is F&B department and engineering and admin. So in the hotel is, you know, like, as you can see, hotel is what? Hotel is for accommodation. But in order to sell one guest room, all these departments actually exist to carry our sales. Okay. And then, okay, let's just go into a bit deeper to sales and marketing, where I am belonging to. So sales and marketing also, you know, like divided into a few departments. So under sales and marketing, so firstly, room sales, and the event sales, and the wedding sales, marketing and communication. Sometimes there is a PR, like the public relations, and then digital marketing. Actually, digital marketing was not that big in the past, like 10 to 20 years ago. But as you can imagine, nowadays, social networks, social net SNS is really like becoming, you know, like a bigger and bigger, and they're taking big portion of, you know, like advertisement. So each and every hotel putting the quite, you know, a lot more importance on digital marketing, like, yeah, I'm sure you know what that means actually. So these are actually the departments part of the sales and marketing. So what I'm doing is more for room sales. So room sales, okay, let me see. So just one second. So what I'm doing is like a room sales. Room sales means very easy to understand about, you know, like a selling guest room. But you need to think about one point. A lot of my friends, even until now, do not understand what I'm exactly doing, because they are thinking I'm bringing, let's just say, I'm just taking a guest room, you know, like to the street and then sell the room to each and every client. maybe they're thinking like, like I'm bringing, like a guest room, like on my side in my bag, and they're just begging, like, can you buy this room? Can you please buy this room for me? Some of friends until now, as I said, thinking, yeah, that is my job. Excuse me. If that is my job, probably I couldn't be here until now, serious. Yeah. So room sales is kind of like, even if we sell sales, but in other words, we are saying invisible sales. So there is no physical item we can sell with us. So even if we go out to the street for sales, basically there is no physical item we can carry. Maybe probably we only just carry kind of like one brochure. That's it. Yeah. So room sales is kind of the same like flight seats. Let's just say Grand Hyatt Seoul consists of 615 room keys. It's quite huge, actually, hotel. So 615 room key. So for example, like when it comes to physical item, let's just say I'm a kind of salesperson who needs to sell a bottle of water, for example. Let's just say I have a one box of, like a water with the 30 small bottle of water. So once I go out to sell, which means I sell one bottle, then I have 29 bottles left. Likewise, end of the day, I can sell whole 30 bottles, right? But hotel sales, what is the biggest difference with what I just explained? Today, I have 615 keys to sell. Even if, like no matter how many rooms I sell today, tomorrow, the moment I wake up, I have another 615 room keys. Every day I have a 615, 615, 615. Yeah, kind of that. So I'm sure you know what I'm saying. So hotel room sales is a kind of like invisible sales. What I'm saying is like, I'm gonna just like explain you a bit further about what is the sales about. So we are selling rooms not only to the individual client for leisure or corporate, but there are many channels, many ways for hotel sales to make customers to consume the room sales. I'm going to just explain a bit further with a bit of excitement. So market segmentation, this is quite like a startup, the sales. In order to make a sales for your hotel, you need to think about what is, like the hotels I'm in for, like that. So let me just, like simply read first the market segmentation. What is market segmentation? As you can read, activity of dividing a broad customer or business market into subgroups of customer based on some types of shared characteristics in the market. It sounds bullshit, right? Very difficult. So let me try to like make some diagram for you to understand a bit easier. So define target market for right customer and right service. So what that means, okay, let me just make it even far easier for you to understand. Here, there are four actually like a criteria in diagram. Let's just say geography, demographic, business, leisure. Let me just like, okay, here is an example. I'm sure you guys are not in the age like to get married, but even if like I'm quite, I don't want to say I'm old, but I'm aging and aging every day by day, but I'm still single. But Maldives, right? Maldives, Cancun, yeah, kind of like an island. So known as like a hot destination for a honeymooner. So let's just try to compare Seoul City, Seoul, Tokyo, New York, London, kind of like a big metropolitan city with Saipan, Hawaii, Guam, or Maldives, yeah, kind of like a destination. Already you probably can feel those destinations are different. You can feel that. So you think about it, there are hotels even in Seoul, even in Maldives, even in Hawaii, even in New York. Do you think, like what hotel sales are doing the same? Cannot be same. So that can be the, like one of the criteria you can define who can be our right customer, who can be our right service. And the business and leisure, the same thing, actually same kind of a criteria. So, like people who are visiting Seoul, of course, the people who are visiting Seoul also sometimes by leisure. Cannot say, like 100% is for business, but compared to Hawaii, compared to Guam, Saipan, Okinawa, right? Seoul, New York, London, these kind of cities are more for business, right? But Guam, Saipan, this kind of like an island destination are more for leisure. So this can be one of the criteria you can find who is your right customer, who is your right service. And then here is the next diagram. Get a length of stay, booking window, days of week, cancellation. Okay, so from the first diagram, let's just go into the a bit deeper, the specified, criteria. When you plan a trip to Hawaii, how many days do you travel? One night? I never think so, because it's just not worth of paying, like money for the flight. Maybe minimum 1 week. But unfortunately in Korea, so it's not really easy to take a leave for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But for me, when I travel to overseas with the more than 10 hours flight, 1 week is even not enough for me. I need more than 2-3 weeks, seriously. Yeah, like that. So it's very simple. So when you travel to kind of like a Hawaii or like an island city, you don't really want to spend only for 1 night or 2 nights. You need a bit more in a stays. But business, subject to your project. It may be business, or sometimes you need to stay for 1 week. But some business traveler, yes, during COVID, this is another story, but in normal situation, business travel is totally different. Sometimes a business traveler stays only 1 night. Let's just say you're coming from Singapore, Hong Kong, or Japan with a short haul destination. You come kind of like a dot. 1 night in Seoul, 1 night in Japan, 1 night in like Hong Kong, 1 night in China, kind of that. So that is actually, like a business. So that can define differentiation between leisure business or business for business, right? And then booking window, what booking window means, how early you started planning your trip. Let's just say you just like about to get married. How many days, like earlier you start planning your honeymoon? 1 week ago? Never. Probably, yeah, you can actually get married with someone you just met a week ago. Yeah, sometimes can happen, like a movie, right? Yeah, that is happening. But in normal cases, right, for honeymoon or your leisure holiday, especially, like you're planning to such a long distance, kind of like a Europe from Korea, Europe, or like a South America, Northern America, then you, in your heart, you already just start planning way earlier, like sometimes 1 year earlier or 6 months earlier. So what you look in, like to when you search the hotel, cancellation. Because in your heart, you already think about, oh, I want to go to Australia next year. Even myself, I'm seriously thinking to visit Australia next year, but already, I started planning. But I'm just worried about, because especially during COVID, everything's just got me worried. What if another, another uncontrollable situation just hit me? Then I need to cancel. So automatically, I need to look in how generous cancellation policy is. Because, today I just booked the ticket. And then, maybe when the time comes to closure, suddenly, COVID still exists only in Korea. And then, hotels in Australia say, no, that cannot be excuse. We're going to charge you cancellation. Then I can't do anything but to cry, right? So this kind of thing. But business travel is a bit different because you're not the one who pays. The company pays for you. It doesn't matter whether it's expensive or cheap. I don't care. I'm sorry, I have to say, I don't care. Oh, just a week ago, since 2020, after COVID, I went to Germany. I just, like went to Frankfurt, Germany. There is really biggest international travel mart called IMAX. So I didn't travel almost for like you guys almost for 3 years, but I just participated in IMAX Frankfurt in Germany last week. I just came back last Sunday, just a few days ago. Yeah, seriously. It was quite good, but it was not easy because with all of a sudden I had to fly for 13 hours. That was kind of killing me. And then here's some interesting story because normally, when we travel to overseas with more than 10 hours, the plane becomes bigger, you know, 3 seats, 5 seats, 3 seats kind of becomes bigger. But this time when I just, got on board, I was really, really, really surprised. Even if it's a flight with 13 hours, flight was not that big. It's actually smaller size. And then another thing which shocked me, because normally when you just travel in the plane, the best thing you can enjoy is watching movie, right? And then normally Asiana, Korean airline, like a national flight, 국적기, when you just, got on board a 국적기 national flight, you can easily enjoy latest movie, right? Because, those flights are pay for the license, to entertain the, passengers in the plane. But, this time I was really shocked. I paid more than double of the fares we used to pay pre-COVID. But when I just, got on the board, the movie was all outdated. I couldn't really enjoy. And the flight was so outdated, but what to do? But this is kind of like a start. Anyway, so I went to Frankfurt. So, sorry, I just, a bit, had a long discussion. So this time I just paid a lot of money for hotel, a lot of money for the flight. But I'm sorry, I don't care because I'm not the one who pays. I only think how close to the exhibition hall, how much I can save my time. That's the only point. Of course, I cannot stay in a suite. I cannot stay in a luxury hotel. But yeah, that's not actually kind of obligation. So that's also things. And then for business travel, you don't really, book the ticket 3 months, 6 months, 1 year ago. Normally, business travel is kind of like in the month. You normally just book a ticket in the month for the month. Let's just say for now it's June, right? So you are planning to travel, let's just say to Korea end of June. Then probably earliest you start making booking a month before or beginning of June. Yeah, that's the kind of like a average, like a period of a booking window as a pattern. So that's the kind of thing. And the cancellation, the same thing as I told you. Maldives, it's really far. So let's just say you just, cancel. I would like to cancel just 2 days ago. Do you think the hotel is going to be really happy? No, it's very simple because they cannot fill in the canceled room within 2 days. Who is planning to travel to Maldives 2 days before? No one. Same thing, but in Seoul or Tokyo, New York, it's okay. On average, the cancellation is 48 hours. So you can just cancel with no cancellation fee within 48 hours. You know why? There is even walking guests. There's even walking guests. Someone, I'm sorry to say that Grand Isle Seoul, we don't have that many walking guests because you know why? We are in the city, but we are on the foot of a Namsan mountain. Someone who's drunk, they have no, energy, no time to walk uphill. But the hotels in Seongnam area, Gangnam area, there are so many walking guests. After, the drinking and you don't really feel like going home whatsoever, then easily walking. So yeah, there is kind of a cases. And then days of the week. What this means? Days of the week means like a days of the week, Sunday to Friday. That's Sunday to the Saturday, Monday to Friday during the weekday, either weekday or weekend business. It's very simple. Business traveler, their days of week are focused on during the weekday, but the leisure is mostly including weekend. Even in Korea, let's just say as a local, you try to plan staycational. In Korea, we say hokangs. In Korean English, hokangs, but let's just say staycationer plans there, like a trip to local hotel, you always think about actually weekend, right, for business. But the business traveler always happens during the weekday. So this is kind of so based on the mixture of this criteria, you need to find out who can be your customer and then what can be the right service. I'm sure because at my age, I didn't have a chance to fly before 20s because any friend who could travel teenage, apart, then we were automatically say, wow, he must be very rich. Yeah, like that. But nowadays it's not like that. Everyone, even, like 3 years old, my nephew and niece travel. They already experienced the flight, overseas flight, so it's different. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is like business to traveler, let's say business to hotel, the biggest, the most important part of the service is accuracy and fast service. They need things, like right away, the moment they just say it out, because business traveler is always being chased after time. But leisure is a bit different. When you go to Hawaii, suddenly you became too nice customer because you're not really being chased after any time. So sometimes, right, service attendant, like a hotel staff makes mistake, and then they just approach you. Oh, customer, I'm very sorry. Then you try to be very, very nice. Like suddenly you become gentleman. That's okay. Never mind. Why? Because you're not being chased after, like a time. But business traveler is totally different because each and every single moment is, their money and their time. So in the business hotel, the most important thing, of course, friendliness is, like a kind of like a bottom line, but in addition to friendliness, actually the right timing and the fast accuracy with, like a faster service always have to come along. So that's kind of the things I would like to share. And then about the positioning, this can be also another, like interesting part. This one, let me just quickly just review with you because this is nothing special. So in the hotel, based on the criteria I just mentioned to you guys, so we can just, position the hotel's category, whether this hotel is a part of a luxury or a boutique hotel with the concept. So like a W Hotel, L7 Myeongdong, kind of like that. Because these hotel, the primary, selling point is what is their unique selling point. So, and then full service, like a Grand Hyatt Seoul, where I'm in, because Grand Hyatt Seoul is providing what? Not only guest rooms, but the function spaces for global conference, meeting, and wedding. Yeah, kind of there. We have almost 20 function spaces. And the Hilton, Marriott, yeah, kind of there. So the hotels, which is giving all kinds of services, what hotel can provide, we call full service hotel. Economy means, like a hotel's primary service is, of course, the guest room. So economy is more just focused on guest rooms. They don't sometimes have function spaces. They don't have a swimming pool. They don't have like a club lounge, but they just have clean and neat accommodation. So economy. Extended is, in other words, we can say residential hotel, like for people who stay minimum few weeks up to sometimes 1 year. So in Korea, Oak-wood, in the next to COEX, Oak-wood is the first residential extended hotel in Korea, but now there are a lot more extended hotel because now Korea became so famous in the global market. So there are a lot of, like expatriates, coming into Korea. So they need a hotel residential as their residential accommodation. So Fraser Place, Oak-wood, and the Sofitel, which just opened, 7 months ago next to Signia. Like in Jamsil, also Sofitel is coming together with the residential building, and the motel, resort. Actually, I don't need to actually say that, but motel, I really would like to highlight about this word. In Korea, motel doesn't give that much positive image, right? But motel is like a motor plus probably hotel. So when I traveled, yeah, that is also about 3 to 4 years ago, because when I traveled the States, I was actually driving from the California all the way to the Washington state to go to the Canada. And then every day, yes, that was a really, really great experience. And then every day I drove almost 10 hours. And then even if I drove 10 hours, I couldn't reach the top of, the States. So I also, I just kept on driving. So what I did, one night I needed accommodation, but I didn't want to spend time for leisure or whatsoever in that small town. And then just by the street, just by the motorway, there are hotels. The kind of hotels you can easily see from the American movie. Did you see that, right? So you can see some kind of hotels facing the motorway. So those hotels, I just arrived hotel about 10 p.m. and then slept, and then just woke up early in the morning and just slept like that. So that is kind of like a motel. But now in Korea, yes, in Korea, motels also by the motorway, right? Easily you can access, but the concept of motel here is a bit different. So yeah, that's the thing. Okay, and then moving forward. So hotelier in sales, this is what I'm doing. As I told you, this is already, right? The hotel sales is kind of like, as I told you, we do not have a physical item to sell. So we say invisible, intangible process. Kind of like a sales of what? We are selling relationship. Because no one is buying hotel guest room when they don't need, but we trying to wait for that person to need the hotel. That person means not about individual. Mostly we are talking about, when we say client means company, corporate accounts. When the corporate accounts have a business traveler, when the corporate accounts have a business meeting, business conference, business exhibition, because we have no idea, but we need to track when they need. And then by the time they need, we want them to look for me, look for our hotel. So we say we always have to carry on invisible, intangible sales to build up strong relationship. So this is things I enjoy as a hotel sales. Probably, as I told you, if I was told to go out to sell the physical item by begging, sorry, I cannot. Yeah, probably you don't think like that, but I'm not that really, extroverted person. In a way, I'm a bit of shy. So that is biggest difference about the sales, the word of sales. And then negotiator, hunter, or farmer. This is kind of like it's interesting terms what we use in a hotel. So when it comes to a hotel sales, we say, Joanne, you kind of like a hunter, you kind of like a farmer. These two words are also very, very important. Means, like a hunter means you go out and catch the business, grab it, and then just throw it to the hotel, and then someone to farm it. Farmer means more for building relationship and then building the business kind of there. But as a salesperson, yeah, absolutely, you have to carry both personality, to be a hunter, to be a farmer. Yeah, like that. And then meeting anticipation. This is kind of like the same word about the invisible, intangible. So you need to find out what this person is anticipating. So, not everyone in the world speaks out about what they need, what they like, right? Some people, based on their character, not only about the business, right? So they sometimes say, I need this, I want this, I like this, I don't like this. If someone who carries this kind of a character, probably sales is very easy. because you just can't meet their, expectation. But unfortunately, many of, like us in this world are just speaking out what we exactly need, because we always trying to be looking nice. I don't want to be, like bargaining something. I don't want to be, looking like someone who's very demanding. But everyone has something here. I want this. So as a sales, the primary thing we are doing is to find out what is hidden anticipation. It's quite interesting. Yeah, of course, when I just started as a sales in hotel, about for 3 years, every day I repeated to my friends and family, no, I don't think I can do this job. I don't think this is not for me. I cannot. Oh my God, this is really shit. I need to kind of like feeling like just, like pamper people's expectation. I was really, really like taking it very difficult because, they're very, like at the junior step, what I was thinking about sales is a kind of just yes to everything. And then whatever clients say, I gave 100% of my trust to the client. I never thought client can lie. Yeah, but I'm sorry, clients, yeah, is lying. But you think about it yourself, like as a customer, because we can be customer to all the markets, right? Sometimes you go to the restaurant, whatsoever, you are very upset. And then the, like the shop owner approach you like that. I'm so sorry. Do you need a compensation? Then always, most of the cases, you probably say, no, what I want is not money. I need a sincere apology, right? You think about yourself, even myself. No, I'm not kind of person who needs money. I don't care about the money. I just need a sincere apology. But, like end of the conversation, the shop owner is offering you basically in-kind compensation. You said, okay, let me take your apology. That's actually we are. Yeah, that's what human beings. Yeah. So this is interesting. Not only about hotel sales. Yeah. So yeah, agree, right? Yeah. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to be, when I go out, like as a customer, I'm trying to be very bitch. Yeah. So that's the thing. And then the same way, emotional empathy. Because, like, as I told you, hotel sales, as I told you once again, without any physical item. So which means you need to sell something. What you need to, what you can sell. There's nothing, like a physical or tangible or visible thing. So which means, you need to build a relationship, means you need to sell your heart to earn others' heart, means emotional empathy. Yeah, I think this is kind of like a very easy thing to be linked to the rest of things. Yeah, so this is basically what I'm doing about the sales in hotel. So until, by now, before I just share about the Mr. President in May, do you have any question about the hotels, hotel sales? And yeah, any kind of question do you have before moving forward about the...
Students, feel free to send me a direct message, and then that way I'll moderate any questions.
Yeah. And then I would like to share one another things just before talking about. Okay, just before, like starting this session, I spoke to Brennan about my experience very briefly, because the President Biden stayed at Grand Hyatt Seoul. Maybe some of you already just, like faced a lot of news in TV in May. And then our general manager was very, very happy because historically in the past, Grand Hyatt Seoul has been well known as the accommodation for U.S. president for past few decades. So in Grand Hyatt Seoul, it's hosting U.S. president became our kind of like a reputation. We really never can imagine U.S. president can stay another hotel. Probably if a U.S. president choose another hotel as a sales, probably I'm gonna be killed by general manager. Yeah, like that. But you guys can only see one person, Mr. President, in TV. But surprisingly, almost 1,000 people were behind of the scene to be supportive of this one person, Mr. President. And then from the hotel side, actually, in a way, fortunately, in a way, unfortunately, I was actually the control tower for hosting this Mr. President. So I was really drawn completely for more than 1 month. So preparation actually started more than 1 month because there were 2 advanced teams. So 1.5 months ago, there was a pre-advanced team arrived from the White House. They need to check out the entire hotel about the security status, about, like layout, because they need to think about the security pathway, where the president came in and out and they came through, kind of that. Because even if the president stays in hotel, but during his stay, no one can see him in person. No one can. So which means, like during his in and out, every side make sure to be completely blocked and closed. So this is kind of like easy to say, but not easy to plan. So yeah, that kind of like job started more than a month ago. And then almost, as I told you, just to give an insight, almost 350 rooms were taken from Grand Seoul, and the secondary security and then administrator stayed. Almost 200 rooms were taken from Millennium Hilton, and then media people from the States. Almost 100 rooms were taken in Shilla Hotel, and then 50 rooms from JW Marriott for the like helicopter troops. Yeah, also took rooms from JW Marriott Hotel. So during the one person, Mr. President, as I told you, you can only see one person, but almost 1,000 people were just like working from the back of the house. And then, sorry, I couldn't actually have that many photos. Oh, but by the way, I would like just to boast up with what I did. I had a great chance to take a photo with Mr. Biden.
Cool. Please
Yeah,
share.
that's great. but I'm waiting for the photo because I haven't just received the White House is going to send me the photo so soon. But like as I told you, I'm a human being. So funny is very at the beginning, I said, no, I don't need it. For what? It's okay. I don't care. I don't want to take a photo. But at the end, I was very excited to just take a photo with Mr. Biden. But just to share, there was a very, very interesting story because the taking photo was not kind of like a really funny thing because we have to queue, and then all the armed soldier was like standing by the side, and then like by the guidance we just walk in to take a photo. Within 3 seconds we just took a photo and it came out kind of like this spider like a schedule. And then fortunately, I was actually standing right next to the President Biden. And then after, like at the photo, that we were just about to go out, and then the President Biden was turning back, and then he stepped on my foot. This is, yeah, seriously. But of course, like I cannot just like scream or I cannot shout, and then of course I just keep quiet. What can I say? Because like I was just like quiet. Probably I would say, "Oh, it's my honor, sir," and all kind of that. But this grandpapa, the old like a gentleman, felt something, and then he turned back and looked at me, and then he said, "Oh, young lady," he said that, "Young lady, did I step on you?" I said, "Yes, sir, but no problem, sir. Never mind, sir." And then you know what? Like Will, my grandfather, he grabbed my hand. And then he was saying like 3 times, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry," like 3 times. And then he grabbed my friend, grabbed actually my hand. And then like I called my mom and dad, "Mom and dad." Yeah, this is kind of like yeah, just.
Can you stop sharing your PowerPoint?
Oh yeah, just
and then there's a couple questions.
Okay. Maybe I can see some. Oh, okay. Here I can see, right? Is this the one?
Oh, I was going to say unshare, so that way it's
unshared. Okay, sure.
So we can see your video better. And then there's a couple questions that are related to how did you become into the position that you are? So a little bit about your background, like how did you kind of like, where did you start? how did you end up where you are now?
Okay.
But last time you did talk about that. That was really interesting about kind of your
Yeah.
progression of where you started, where your stepping stones leading up to where you are now.
Okay. By the way, the screen you are seeing is what actually by now?
We see your PowerPoint, so you have to stop sharing your PowerPoint.
Okay, I see. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you for just letting me know. Yeah, actually, Brandon, thank you so much. I almost forgot about that because, yeah, the how I entered the hotel industry is actually a bit abnormal because I didn't study hotel management, or like a kind of like I didn't just have any major related with the hotel, because my major is yeah, weirdly German language. But sorry, I forgot completely. Forgot completely. And then I entered the hotel industry at the age of 30. Let's just say in the US, can probably now, like we're gonna use not the current age, but by the US age, yeah, when at the age of 29, and then in Dubai. So I started my career in Dubai. The reason being is just to make it short, because I was once 20s like you guys. And then I don't know, maybe I was too optimistic, or maybe I was too, enthusiastic about, who I am. Maybe I just tried to put too much dream, like on my, like the goal, because I actually was never be satisfied with what I did when I was 20s. No matter what I did at my 20s, I just kept thinking, I don't think this can be my permanent job. I don't think this is mine. I don't think this is mine. So I was always envious of like singer, musician, the painter, because those the kind of people were born to be specific gifts. But unfortunately, I do not have a kind of like a specific gift. I'm just ordinary people, and then I really couldn't find what I have to carry at my ages. So literally, I tried so many things, which I cannot list up all things today. But each and every time, no. But one thing I would like to share is like I was at this stage, I can proudly say I was very brave to give up. Sometimes, like I truly believe the biggest, braveness is not to sometimes, like trying for something new, but sometimes, like you need to brave to give up something, because you just hold the things, like in your both the hands, but you still need something more and more and more, but you do not want to lose any of, like things in your hand, then you're never going to get something new. You just follow your heart. Whichever, like you need more, at least you just need one hand empty. Then you never expect what is coming to your hand again. So in that point, I think in my 20s, I think I was brave enough to do that. Because when I was 20s, especially mid-20s, late 20s, most of my friends, like got a job, and then they just started to get paid every month. But I was kind of like started feeling I'm losing my way. But as I told you, maybe self-esteem, I probably was just taking myself too great. So I simply couldn't give up what I was trying to find out, even though I didn't know what that means. So, and then someday I just got to me opportunity. I came to know about the country Dubai. And then I just asked my mom and dad and my friends, have you ever heard about Dubai? And then no one said, I know about Dubai. But when I just Google, and then when I try to find out information from, like overseas friends, they say, yes, Joanne, Dubai is growing. Dubai became so hot in the European country, like EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and kind of that. So I was thinking like that. That time I was thinking to go to the States, because, as a Korean, you agree, we were born to be having American dream. And then at my age, I have to admit, I was born to be grown, to be holding American dreams. So without any course, I was automatically thinking to go to the States. And then with all of a sudden, I was not really confident to be successful in the States. You know why? Because my house, my family is not poor, but not that rich. I'm very, very, grew up in ordinary family. And then I never studied in overseas, countries. And then I was not confident to compete with all those, Korean American living in the States. And then Dubai suddenly gave me kind of like a sparkle. No one knows about it. Probably this can be my niche market. So that's the thing. And then I just flew over, but by now sounds great, right? So wow, Jordan is brave. But when I went there, first the 6 months was kind of like a killing me. Dream never be, easy to be obtained. So it was really, really, really painful to get a job as a Korean. As I told you, no one knows about, the market. So once you go overseas, you need to be proud of your country. If no one knows about your country, then your dignity is not there. Your reputation, you cannot find it. But nowadays, I'm not worried about, because we have a BTS. We have a BTS. We have, a Squid Game. We have, a great singer movie. So in that point, I really feel envious of you guys, because once you go overseas to just extend your dream to be bigger, you don't need to worry about, you don't need to just put effort to prove yourself who you are. Everyone will appreciate the country you're from. You're Korean. So that is the biggest point. So that's why I started. And then I spent almost 10 years in Dubai, followed by Malaysia and Singapore. And then I came back in 2017. And then, yeah, that's how I just carried it on. And then now I'm here leading the team as a director of sales. Oh my God.
Right. You've always been in sales, correct? So you kind of did the sales.
Oh, yes.
Path, but
Yeah,
I'm kind of different responsibilities, the different things.
Yeah, I'm actually I've been carrying purely sales, but this is actually a good question. But sometimes the where you start is all the different depending on the people, but mostly people starting from front office. Let's just say from the sales, because my case is I've been just carried on my career purely for sales only for 20 years. But a lot of cases like a front office, as I told you, front desk actually they apply for sales position in the middle of their career, because once they just walk into the hotel and they started working as a hotelier, and then they just make some kind of a passion to be a hotel sales. So yeah, that's also you can be even if you started as a marketing or hotel, sorry, the front office, even in the career you feel like you want to just develop your career as a sales, you can always apply for it, because in hotel there is always the procedure kind of internal transfer. It's very easy compared to other hotel and other industry. In the hotel, internal transfer is kind of a bit easier. Yeah. So
other things. So if somebody, especially young students that are just graduating, what's the best way to get into the hotel industry? Do you have any suggested path? Take any job, and then after you're in the company, then you can try to work your way up into different positions. Is that a better strategy than trying to go directly to I want sales, but it's harder to get into some areas, maybe?
But thing is whichever department you'd like to apply for, firstly, you'd like to have, the first passion to be a hotelier. Because everyone, to be a hotelier, the first thing is you need to face the client. As I told you, client is not easy. As I told you, I just shared about, the restaurant story, right? So all the clients, always bargaining, demanding, and then they are just, yeah, always want something. So firstly, you need to become a hotelier. And after that, Brandon, you're right, because you probably have no idea whether sales is right, event is right, wedding is right, front office is right. You have no idea. But maybe as a student, depending on your ages, for example, 21, 22, sometimes, I don't know, Brandon, I think you also, sometimes, planning about the internship, right? So yeah, maybe you can just contact our HR department, because the Grand Hyatt always, during COVID for the past 2 years, we almost stopped. But post-COVID, probably our hotel also, like a yearly basis, we're gonna just, kick off again about the internship program as well. That can be another, like opportunity you learn about, like a hotelier. Otherwise, you just think about it because, nothing is, like a correct, but if you think, like you're gonna try hotel sales as a coordinator first or front office, it's okay. No matter what, you can just try first. But very at the beginning, as a junior, as I told you, you always have a chance to transfer yourself to another department. That's not difficult. For example, like other in normal corporate accounts, you started as a finance, but probably it's not easy to just, like transfer yourself. But in hotel, basically, that's not that actually the easy. Sometimes as a team leader myself, let's just say my team, I got hired because currently we are, by the way, we are currently hiring 2 coordinators.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Please leave us a link that I can give to all the students. There's about 150 students that would love to maybe apply for something. But before you answer, let me tell you, there's like 3 or 4 other questions that you can choose what you want to answer. One person asked you about the White House, what happened, the President Biden coming. They asked, how far in advance were you planning for this? How did you coordinate with other hotels? Another question was, what's the best thing that you like or dislike about your position as working in marketing and sales? Another question was, if you're a hunter, how do you go about attracting the different customers? Or if you're a farmer, because farmers building relationships, but hunter, how do you go out and find these different customers? Also,
yeah.
There was one more. Okay, that's good. And then
Okay.
also one more about what it's been like kind of going through the last like couple of years for COVID, and then how's that process from going through
Okay.
COVID, pre-COVID, COVID, and now coming out of COVID?
Okay, I can just give an answer is as brief as possible for all these questions. Firstly, about the White House. Sorry. About the White House. Yeah, I think I just mentioned the normally because not only the president, because we sometimes have the Secretary of the State and the Minister of the State. Normally, actually, the preparation started a minimum 2 to 3 weeks earlier, but for the president, it started in minimum 1 month earlier. So that means for the first few weeks, what you're doing is keep on just inspection to hotel, because the White House team should know about each and every part of a hotel. What is where is where, because they just, catch up within a couple of weeks, like employee who's been working for the field, the decades, that they need to be fully aware of where is where, what is what, like how many, a camera, how many CCTV, where is the parking lot, where is the access door, where is the exit, where is the step canteen, where is what kind of where is the hidden door, every single part. So, how many, I don't know, how many inspection I did every day, probably, almost 30, 40 times of inspection for, a lot of people. I need to keep on educating people. This is hotel. And then whatever, they have a question, is this possible? Is this possible? Is this possible? Then we just keep on just feeding the answer. And then just 2 weeks before, and then just actually, they just started planning. And then 3 to 4 days before, what they did, they just finally bring the bulletproof glass, and then they just block the glass. They just actually just take action based on the plan they made for the few weeks. And then once the president checks out, what they do, the president checks out, and then
Oh, I think, did we just lose Joanne? Joanne, are you there? Hold on. Because it kind of looked like it was so something happened. So hold on. I have her on Kakao here. Hold on. Well, I guess we can just wait a couple more minutes. I'm waiting for her to. I think she was using a laptop. So the only thing that I'm worried about is she lost power, is what I'm guessing, because I think she noticed something and then all of a sudden that dropped out. But I know her story because when she presented 1 year ago, it was great because she talked about Dubai. Thank you, Evan. That's a nice comment. She worked in Dubai for 10 years in sales. And then it was different aspects of sales. Like she went into convention sales, and then that was like in Malaysia, and then Singapore. It was another aspect of. I think she's logging in with her iPhone. Hold on. And then she went into another different aspect of sales, like marriage plan. Oh, that's what it was. In Singapore, she was focused on the Korean market because a lot of Koreans were going into Singapore that were staying at the hotel. So she was focusing on bringing Koreans into that hotel. There you go. I thought you were.
I'm so sorry. I mean,
I thought you were on your laptop, so I thought your power cut out. So I was telling them about your history. Like you were focused on, I think Singapore, you were focused on the Korean market. In Malaysia, it was like group sales, convention sales. So you kind of different parts of sales leading up to sales at the Grand Hyatt.
I'm so sorry because that I was just like having my laptop, and then I think I forgot just like I put my power to
It's a good guess or what? Because I think I thought you all of a sudden noticed your battery was light as blinking or something.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, this is kind of.
It's okay.
Yeah. So done already? Done or left?
No, we have a couple more minutes. So you were just saying about like when after everybody had left, after the president left, then what
Oh,
was
okay.
happening?
Yeah.
Like
After the
cleanup
president.
or-
Yeah, after the president left, like at the time, the old, like a delegation leave, the timing is very interesting because once the president leaves into the the Osan airport, to take Air Force, and then as long as like Air Force, completely leaves out of like a Korean continent, until the moment every every steps in the hotel is just like the watching the radar kind of that. So as long as at the moment the president leaves the Korean continent completely 100%, then by the moment they started dismantling all the equipment within one day. So it takes about 2 weeks for them to install all those things, but it takes only one day. They just break and then dismantle all the equipments they set up, just within not even one day, only half day. So that's the thing. And then the what was next question? Like and dislike. This is very easy, very one word. As I told you, I'm always proud to be a hotelier because I really like building relationship. So like things like I don't need to sell something physical. I don't need to bargain. I don't need to a beg for things for clients to buy, but I only need to just build a relationship to let them like our property myself. But what I don't like is sometimes when you just work in the real life, you forget about why I became hotelier. So I just grumpy, and then I just complain about the clients. We forgot about that because basically we sell service. So whoever is walking into the hotel, as I told you, hotel is not cheap. You have to, especially for 5-star hotel, the clients have to pay $200, $300, sometimes $500, $600 for one night stay. So it's very natural. Clients are demanding. This is nothing wrong because they are born. They are just a right to have carrying the demand. But sometimes I forget about that, and then my colleagues are forgetting about that. So because we are here to just make a service. But other than that, basically, I like what I'm doing as a salesperson. Rather be front office, I would like to be sales to build a relationship actively. And then hunter and farmer, the same thing, but currently in the hotel industry, for your information, when I just started hotel sales, in the past, there was no segregation between hunter and farmer. Every hotelier should be hunter or farmer. But nowadays, maybe like a smaller hotel, they don't have any segregation. But mostly when you walk in, start working with the 5-star hotel, there is kind of like segregation. Hunter department, pharma department. This is kind of like a second word, but in professional way, we say proactive or reactive sales. Proactive means you purely go out to find the business, build the relationship, just meet the client face to face. So that is so-called proactive. Reactive means like you basically sit down in the office, but as a chain wide hotel like Hyatt, Marriott, Hilton, there are tons of leads coming through globally. Even if you are sitting in the hotel, there are tons of leads and sales inquiry coming in. So you are based in the hotel, and then you're just taking the lead and then making the inquiry to be turned to definite business. That's what we call reactive. And then the last question about COVID, I think also I told you, Brennan, for the past 2.5 years, the older hoteliers, they went through the really, really hard time. But fortunately, Grand Hyatt Seoul, as an employee working in Grand Hyatt Seoul, I was never be unpaid. Every month, I got paid. So I need to be really, really appreciate about that. But during COVID, the first year after COVID, that was very painful. For example, like 2020 February, you remember Shincheonji in Daegu, there was a big hit. And then all the business, especially global conference and the meeting and exhibition, those, the contract was all signed up, before COVID for the event in 2020. Every single thing, just one day, all canceled. I don't know how many money we lost. Seriously, just within few days, entire business got completely just broken into the air. That was really, really painful. And then all of a sudden, we just went into the paid leave, unpaid leave, kind of there. And then followed by another painful time. So each and every, that during 2.5 years, sometimes, COVID is almost going away. Suddenly, a second Delta, Omicron, another kind of we just kept on facing variant of a virus. So we just, even the client trying to make a business, sign the contract, cancellation, delayed, rebook. So, even for one business, we need to work 3 or 4 times. Let's just say booking, cancel, postpone, rebooking, again cancel, again rebooking. So it kind of really easily demotivated. That was kind of a biggest, challenge. But in other part, how hotel could survive when all the business went out, especially in Korea. Funny thing is, from the domestic market. Domestic market means I think Koreans are really enjoying their life very much, especially 20s. Even in Grand Hyatt Seoul, only let me talk about our hotel. Before COVID, Grand Hyatt Seoul was not that much, famous by the 20s or 30s, youngsters. So normally, we more, captivate, 40s and 50s or late 30s with the businessmen. But during COVID, each and every weekend, we've seen tons of the 20s couples spending their time in the weekend. So hotel has been really, really busier every weekend, especially Friday and Saturday, Sunday. So you can see that Kakao Shopping Live and Neighbor Live show and the TV home shopping, all the overseas package was completely gone. But instead, each and every day you could see a package promotion about the local hotels. Shilla Hotel, Banicher, whatever. So that could be the, biggest, feeder channel the hotel could survive. But now, as you remember, we got new president. And then April onwards, COVID restriction, a COVID quarantine was completely lifted. And then 1st of June onwards, even COVID quarantine for overseas traveler completely got lifted. So the business physically drastically started. And then now every month, for the month, we just started receiving tons of leads, because now globally, every company is trying to do something because they haven't done something. Exactly. Right. Exactly. They are eager to do something, but probably kind of mega size to begin events pre-COVID. We used to have 500, 600, 700, sometimes 1,000 of people event. I don't think, that's going to be happening so soon. It takes time, about 2024 kind of, but by now, 50 people, 100 people, the 150, those are kind of like small size of the events and really, really coming through a lot. But unfortunately in Korea, what we have to face as a challenge for the coming years, for all of you guys reference, even during COVID, certain hotels, closed down, the Sheraton D-Cube Hotel closed down, Novotel Doksan closed down, and then Le Méridien closed down, and the Millennium Hilton in Namsan is going to be closed down by the end of this year. But the common things about these hotels are not really 5-star whatsoever, but these hotels are the ones with the function spaces. But during COVID, we still could have a lot of hotels reopening, kind of like Fairmont opened, and the Sofitel opened 7 months ago. Fairmont opened just 1.5 years ago, and then Western Joseon Palace in Gangnam opened, and then the Four Seasons, of course, it's not a new hotel, but this hotel guest room is amazing, great, luxurious, spacious. It's really like a spectacle. But the problem of this hotel, they do not have a function spaces. They only can carry the event with small size of event, only for few hundred. That's it. But once Korea became, totally safe for the business travel, then we need to be prepared, about how to recapitalize all these, kind of business, from the word of 500, 600, because nowadays we have a hotel, luxurious hotel, but all these function spaces, that many. So currently on the Gangbuk area, northern part of Seoul, the Grand Hyatt Seoul, we are the only hotel, we are the only 5-star hotel with the function spaces enough, size-wise. Gangnam area, Conrad, Intercon, JW, these 3 are the ones who can carry international conference. The rest of the hotels are not really prepared to carry on this kind of international conference or a big size of thing. That's what the tourist market are actually thinking about as a challenge for upcoming. So that's the thing.
We have 2 minutes left, but I just have one last thing, because having gone through this and seeing so many how the market has changed for you, where all of these kind of more domestic tourist focus, do you think that's going to change the paradigm of how you do business moving forward? Because it's not going to go back to new normal. Maybe you're going to change a little bit of a hybrid or something.
Absolutely, because at one point, and of course, I can say, once the COVID is completely, go away, now everyone is eager to go outside to overseas again, for sure. And then, domestic leisure market is not going to be as big as we are having today, but as you just ask, but the paradigm of the travel pattern is going to be totally changed. Why? As I told you, 20s and 30s, including the other people who haven't really spent money for local luxury hotels, because probably whether they take spending money for overseas packages. But in the Korea, why? In the past, they were thinking, in Korea, why do I have to spend such a big money for 1 night or 2 night stay in the hotel? But now, for the past 2.5 years, they have already experienced it. And then it's good, because out of house, staying in the hotel with luxury, a breakfast, in-room breakfast, and the whatever, swimming pool, they tried, they experienced, it's great.
Case in point, I have an 8-year-old, so we did the staycation at maybe 5 different 5-star hotels, swimming pool, the restaurants, doing everything. My son absolutely loved it. So he's like,
exactly.
He's like, every few months, can we stay again and do near Incheon Airport? We stayed at the what was the big one?
Paradise.
So Paradise. Then we did the Hyatt and then they did upgraded rooms, and it was amazing.
Oh, you stayed in Grand Hyatt Seoul?
Not Seoul. It was the Hyatt in Incheon Airport.
Okay, I see.
So
Okay.
they automatically upgraded everybody. So we had a 1-room suite, and it wasn't a suite. It was a big 1-room, 2 bathrooms, living room. So
see, look at yourself. Even yourself is pampered about Korean hotel. So even after COVID, from time to time, your family might gonna be thinking of, oh, can we try to, like staying in maybe Grand Hyatt Incheon again upcoming weekend on your birthday?
Every 6 months going traveling, we're like, well, how about every other month do a staycation where it makes us feel like we're on vacation?
Yeah. Can we celebrate your birthday and my birthday in the hotel, please?
That's actually how we've been motivating my son. We're like, okay, we'll stay a night at a hotel and do the swimming or whatever. If you finish well, blah, blah, blah. So now that's his motivation. He really wants to do it. But thank you very much. We really appreciate, of course, your presentation. So everybody.
No, sorry, because I was probably too much, like optimistic. So I just sometimes like kind of like went out of the podcast. And thank you so much for bringing me to the podcast.
No, it was great. So if you don't mind, what I'd like to do, if you would just turn on your video for a second, and then where it says reaction, if you can just put on a reaction, I'm going to take a screenshot so that way I can send to Joanne. If you wouldn't just turn on just for a second your screen. And what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to ask because when you do the reaction, it's only on for like 3 or 4 seconds. So I'll ask you again. So please just put on a reaction. And then let me get my screen recording. Hold on, let me save it. Just 1 second. Let me move to the next screen. Well, thank you very much. Today we had 57 people attending, which is great. So
wow.
We've been recording this presentation. So for the many students who were not able to attend today, they'll be able to, I'll upload it to YouTube and I'll share the link with them. And also, Joanne, I'll share the link with you. So everybody, if you could, a little bit of a, thank you very much, Joanne.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And to everybody else as well, this is our last day, our last class. So once again, guys, thank you very much, everybody, for attending our classes. I wish you guys a really wonderful summer and stay safe. Thank you.
By the way, just one last thing that I told you, actually, like, I don't know, your dream or your goal or your, passion, but we are hiring 2 coordinators. So just to check the Grand Hyatt Seoul, the career website and try to look for it.
But no, and the good thing is everybody in this this webinar is multilingual. A lot of people are trilingual. So that's that's a very big plus for everybody. Okay, everybody, thank you guys very much.
Bye.
Take care. Have a great one.
Thank you.